Alright, evening guys, it's Jeff. I'm back again. This is my second video of the day, and I did kind of allude this to the one I posted earlier. That I was just gonna give a little update and a very short talk, really, or not too long anyway, about the whole Onision versus Joy Sparkle BS thing. There's been a lot happened in the last 24 hours since I made that video. Um, I've said a few times, I don't really want my channel to become a hate and Neon channel or a YouTube drama channel, but I've just found this one so entertaining, and I suppose if you're a fan of YouTube drama, the last 24 hours is Christmas has come early for you, really, hasn't it? So okay. As I mentioned yesterday, he challenged her to a debate, and there was, some. I pointed out in the video that there was. I didn't think it was going to happen. Well, it actually did happen, and it happened on. It did happen on Laney Bot's You Now stream, which initially Joy said she wasn't going to do. But she obviously changed her mind on that. I don't entirely know the reason why. She may have her own reasons, which I'm sure she'll probably explain in due course. But yeah, wow, wow, what a what a evening that was. Well, first of all, I mean, he had a guy called Jeff Holiday come on to his live stream. I've never seen him. He's another YouTuber. I can't say I've ever seen any of his videos or anything. And I think he had kind of offered to maybe moderate this thing or something. And they seemed to be having quite a friendly discussion, or at least they were. And then, I don't know, I think Onision found out that this guy had made a few videos about him. And just then I don't know, from there it just kind of went into sort of throwing insults and stuff. It just went from like being quite civil to, I mean, really Greg started the whole thing, but it did kind of get into the whole, it was quite crazy actually. I will say in the interest of fairness here, to be fair to Onision, I would say that if I was in his position and I had a guy who'd made a few videos about me that weren't particularly flattering, I don't know if I'd want that person to moderate in a debate. I can understand that to a degree. Don't necessarily the way he handled it or anything. But yeah. But so I can kind of understand that from his point. I mean, but it was you just go and watch this whole thing. I haven't got time to review all this. Then it got even stranger after that, because all of a sudden, Jacqueline Glenn guested on this with Social Repose, and okay, we know there's history there, and that was so funny. Actually, it was I just got the feeling they were trolling him, and they were just sort of almost just kind of keeping him occupied until Joy got on there, really. And I mean, of course, he I mean, they did kind of mock what he was what he was wearing. He had this sort of makeup and whatever, and this hat on and so on. I'm not going to rag on him for that, I mean, that's part of his persona or something. I'm not going to rag on him for that, it is, but no, I will say he couldn't resist the chance to get in a jibe at Jacqueline's breast implants once again. He couldn't help but get a jibe in about that, which was pretty petty. But I think Jacqueline and Richie just kind of laughed the whole thing off, really. It was, I mean, I always think they were trolling him, really. Then came the main event. Yeah, this went on for about half an hour when Joy got on there. Now, this was the great debate. I'm going to use the word debate loosely here, because it wasn't a debate. It's, Um, it wasn't a debate at all. Just go for this quite quickly. They he kind of almost started in a way by trying to discuss Joy's illness, and he was trying to turn it into a way of manipulate it into saying that she had a mental illness or getting her to admit that she has some kind of mental illness. And fairness to Joy, Joy didn't fall for that, but that this kind of did go around in circles for a bit. Um, there was some discussion about there was certainly some discussion about some of his relationships and so on that have come through this in the past. He's saying, is it you're asking me to sue you? You must be crazy. Which actually, what the case was is that he made a threat of a lawsuit and she called his bluff on it. That's the case of that. Um, and again, I've got to say, in the interest of fairness, there's a lot of the time there was, from both sides, there was a bit of talking over the other one and so on. I mean, there might have been some times when possibly Joy got a bit silly as well, and kind of made some of the references into the Dwight references from The Office, which she's apparently, she says that he reminds her of Dwight. But again, so not necessarily that was necessarily the greatest thing on her part, but the truth of the matter is, and this is kind of what ran through the whole theme, this discussion, is really he didn't get her on there to debate or any of the issues or work anything out, anything like that. He just came on there to try and repeatedly insult her. If you remember in his own video, he said that he was going to rip Joy apart. He was going to reduce her to tears and so on. Utterly failed in that respect. He totally failed. I mean, if anything, Joy was Joy was sort of just sat there with her eating her popcorn and kind of laughing at him, really. And to be fair, she wasn't letting him off the hook on certain things about, really almost sort of saying that, he's got to kind of apply his own logic to himself at times, and, he doesn't really do that. I think there was maybe a little bit of silliness on both sides of that. But yeah, okay, you can say I'm a bit biased because I'm not a fan of Onision. That's true. I don't hate the guy. Okay, I'll make that clear. I don't hate him. Sometimes this stuff. Sometimes he says some quite good stuff. He says a lot of stupid stuff as well, and some outrageous stuff. Sometimes he can be quite funny, but it's a bit warped what he does in respect. But it just ended up him throwing a lot of insults. She wasn't biting on it. And then he kind of stormed off and had his wife Lainey come on. Now, and now I've got to say, I don't really watch much of Lainey. I'm just being kind of careful. I don't quite know how to refer to sort of Lainey in a sense, because I believe she identifies as agender, and I don't. If I say she or something and that's wrong, people can blast me for that. And I don't quite know the correct term. I want to try and be respectful of that. And I've got to say, Lainey went up a bit in my estimation yesterday. I haven't really watched her so much. And her and Joy actually did talk for maybe 3/4 of an hour or so afterwards. And, Greg didn't come back on. I won't go too much into what was said there. But it's all up on YouTube. People can go and look at this stuff. But at least I don't know that Joy and Lainey are going to be friends at all as a result of this. I don't think that's going to be the case. But at least Lainey is certainly far more mature than Greg is. At least they did have a sensible conversation and a cordial conversation and so on. for 45 minutes, and they might have had some disagreements on stuff and so on. But it wasn't nasty at all. There might have been, it might have irritated me a little bit after Joy left the stream. Laney's might have said one or two things at the end there, which I felt. I don't know that she was really going too hard at Joy. I don't know, but she was sort of saying she didn't feel this really solved anything or anything, and I'm sure it probably didn't. I've got to be honest. I don't think Onision's goal here was to solve anything, but just to kind of get a bit of buzz again. But like I said, I don't really want much to be a YouTube drama kind of person and commentating on drama. But this has been just so humorous over the last 24 or 48 hours or so. It's been quite amazing to watch, really. Yeah, I suppose like I said, I mean, I might be a bit biased in this, but if I was going to pick a winner between the two, I think it would be Joy. Although it wasn't really great as a debate at all, and I don't think he really wanted to debate. He wanted he just wanted to call her all kinds of names under the sun, and it was a bit, yeah. Anyway, that was just my short take on this whole thing. Yeah. So, yeah, if you are a fan of YouTube drama, this has probably been quite an entertaining day or so for you. So, okay, I'll see you guys later. All right, salute.